It is Lex McMahon, the Great White Buffalo, and I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out there. 51 years old. I know you're not shy about that, and one day
51
away.
years young, bro. 51 young.
Let me correct that. 51 years young and one day away from another MMA fight right now. I mean, talk to me. How are you feeling right now on the eve of stepping back into the cage?
You know what? I feel phenomenal, man. I had a great camp, worked really hard. My last camp, I actually didn't do strength and conditioning at all. I just kind of trained myself into shape. And I felt like this time I needed to kind of take a different approach, and worked with a tremendous strength and conditioning coach who actually was a 3-time WBC world champion, Anna Marie Scotto. She actually fought Holly Holm. And hold on a second. Sorry, I'm getting yelled at. Don't have the seatbelt on. We're in the Dominican Republic, so I didn't think it was required.
Oh, it's for the beeping on the interview.
It's just for the audio. I love it.
Yeah. But anyway, she got me in phenomenal shape. So, physically I feel great. And, I think that's a big part of it. Mentally, I'll be honest. I had let me step back. So I'm calling this fight the Fight for Hope. And I really felt like this time I wanted to be really candid, because I'm supporting the same organization I did last time, A Hero, which is a military veteran nonprofit that's focus and mission is to prevent veteran suicide and help address PTSD. Something which I've struggled with for years. And, I felt like it would be more authentic if I actually told my story, as opposed to, saying, listen, this is why I'm doing it. The reality is, on a daily basis, I think everybody struggles with mental health, whether it's PTSD or other things. Like, we all have challenges in life. And so I wanted to kind of share a lot of my story, which, started with me being diagnosed with PTSD years ago. But that's carried over. And, when I face challenges like we all do through life, it becomes harder. Like, my baseline is way lower than I think most people's, just because I already am struggling from this mental health issue in PTSD. I've been going through a very tough divorce, and a lot of other issues in life, and being a single father to 2 teenage girls. It's been challenging, man. And I had some really, really tough days. And I was actually supposed to fight November 11th on Veterans Day, because I thought, oh, wow, what a great story. The reality is, Chef, are you snoring?
Yeah,
No, got the team in the car, and all of a sudden I hear one of the guys snoring. But the reality is, I wasn't ready psychologically, emotionally. So I pushed the fight back a month. And to be honest, almost about 2 weeks ago, I was ready to push the fight back again, or just cancel it, because I was really having a tough time. I dropped my daughters off at school one day and just drove aimlessly for an hour, not even crying, like weeping. And, I think, again, like, we all have challenges, and some, we have them at different points in our lives, but this has been a period of time that has been very challenging for me. And I want to share that with people, because I think that it's important to show people that, we all struggle. There's proactive things you can do to address those things. And for me, helping other people is one of those things that's really cathartic. And stepping into the cage and raising awareness and money for A Hero and trying to combat veteran suicide, as well as this time I'm working with Toys for Tots to bring hope to less fortunate children. I felt like, listen, just tell your story. Don't be embarrassed by it. Just be very real and candid, and hopefully you help one person. If I help one person get through a tough part of their day or a tough part of their life, then I'll feel like this thing was successful.
That's pretty incredible, Lex. I mean, obviously, I knew you had been working with A Hero for a long time. I knew it was near and dear to your heart, but I didn't realize how near and dear it was to your heart, that it was something that, you had experienced the same thing, that you're trying to help out other guys. So that's pretty brave of you to share that, man. And I appreciate you sharing it. So I guess with that in mind, what made you say? I mean, you fought 2 years ago, it went your way at 49 years young, and then for 2 years later, what made you say, hey, I'm going to go do this again? Because I know, physically, mentally, that it was a tough journey last time as well. So what made you say, nah, let's go do this again?
Don, you're being kind. I had guys beat the piss out of me for camp for how long? For like months. These monsters that are, elite level MMA fighters, and they just beat me down. But it made me stronger, and it got me in a position to be able to prevail against Justin Thornton. And I was, very fortunate that it, went the way that it did. This time it was a little bit different because I really meant that I wasn't going to fight again. Like, that was a one-time thing. But it's interesting. General James Laster, who was the number 3 general in the Marine Corps and retired from the Marine Corps a couple of years ago to take over Toys for Tots, is someone that is a friend of mine. And he is actually a board of advisors member to A Hero. And he came to me and he says, Lex, listen, I love what you did. I want you to do it for Toys for Tots as well. I said, well, sir, I don't think I'm fighting again. And he said, son, I want you to do it for Toys for Tots as well. When a lieutenant general, who's the number 3 general in the Marine Corps, says to me, who's just an enlisted, non-commissioned officer, I want you to do something, the answer is only yes, sir. So it got me thinking, and I said, man, let's do this again. And it was start and stop for a bit. And this time I didn't have the full-on crazy camp where we went up to the farm in Alabama. This time, because of, my situation at home, I really needed to be with my girls more. I ended up feeling like a lot of times I was training alone and in isolation. There was no one kind of orchestrating my camp but me, where last time I had a lot of people, really kind of micromanaging the process for me because it was the first time. But the reality is I was never alone. I mean, I had a tremendous support network of, the same group of guys that were reaching out to me and talking to me. I've got an amazing friend in Chef Corey Hall, who's also a veteran himself, who donated his time for the last 2 weeks. And it's really going to be 3 weeks because he came with me to the DR. But he was cooking for myself and one of the fighters that lives at the house, Rami Hamed, who's actually fighting tomorrow as well. And my girls, just to make life a little bit easier. That was his way of supporting, our mission of preventing veteran suicide and helping less fortunate children. So the reality, even though this was a different experience, I still had a tremendous support network behind me. It was a different journey for sure.
Crazy. Well, for anybody that wants to watch it, as you said, it's tomorrow night, Friday, December the 9th. It's Fighting Force 10. It's live on UFC Fight Pass, so you can watch this. I'm sure there'll be a ton of messaging maybe during the broadcast itself, but if anybody doesn't get a chance to maybe watch the fight but still wants to get behind this organization, help you out in this mission, how would you tell people that they can get involved and help support this cause, which two very great causes that they can assist with?
Yeah, there's actually 3 ways, and I appreciate the question, John. One is to go to aherousa.org/fight4 ahero. And there you can donate. You can find out about A Hero's mission of preventing veteran suicide. You could also go to toysfortots.org and find out about what they're doing and support their mission. And then we're also running an auction where we're giving away some pretty incredible things. The game worn helmet by Mark Ingram when he was the year he won the Heisman Trophy, the University of Alabama, signed by the entire team. That's, A Hero's headquartered in Alabama, so we hope and believe that one's going to go for a lot of money, which will be awesome. But we got, guitars signed by Pearl Jam, guitars signed by Luke Bryant. Someone who's a wrestling fan, Dana Brooke, who's a really dear friend, is giving away a VIP experience. For the classier folks that are fans, Andreas Bocelli is giving a VIP set of tickets and a really incredible night with him backstage. So there's a lot of awesome things that are being done in this auction, and they could go to my Instagram page, which is @Lex McMahon. That link is in the bio, or you can go to Everything But the House and look for A Hero, and you can find out the information how to bid on that.
Awesome. Well, we'll make sure and link all that below this video as well. So, Lex, obviously, as usual, doing this for a great cause, but It's still a cage fight. We're still MMA fans. Talk to you about how this fight's going to go. What are we thinking about this opponent? What are we going to? How are we going to see? What are we going to see tomorrow night?
Well, Luis Garcia is a gentleman who's about my size. I believe he's in the 240 area, and I weighed in today at 247. Both about 6 foot tall. So physically, I don't think that there's going to be much difference. Neither one of us has a real advantage. I'm probably stronger, and that's a good thing. So I'm going to look to make it a technical fight in the beginning to try to avoid the big firefight, right out the gate, and use my technique to bring the power to bear. But at the end of the day, man, I think if anybody watched my last fight, it was Rock'em Sock'em Robots. I have a feeling, even though the game plan isn't that we're going to end up there. And, I got this big beard, so hopefully that'll give me an advantage. My chin will withhold the storm, and I'll put him down.
I love it. I love it. Well, Lex, kudos to you, my man. Props to you for doing this, man. I know what a journey it was the first time, so for you to do it again, but as always, doing it for a great cause, man. Just wish you the best of luck and know that we'll be watching, my man.
Right on, John. I appreciate you so much, man. Big hugs, brother, and we'll talk soon.